Hello and welcome back to DriveDriverDriven. Today's project is another lighting project and a bit of a health update. We'll talk about my glasses in a bit, but really today's project is getting to this and all this wonderful lighting from this. All right, while I work away in the background here, I wanted to chat about some of my health updates and just let you guys know how everything's been going. As a quick recap, at the end of 2020, I had a terrible episode, let's call it, where heart failure nearly killed me. And I was able to make most of a recovery, but the end result was a heart that was not working very well, kidneys that aren't working very well, and I've been just kind of making do. Well, fast forward 4 years, and here's the latest update I have. Starting with my kidneys, they are still operating at about like 45 to 50%, which is both bad news and good news. The bad news, of course, is that, well, they're still garbage, but the good news is that they haven't changed over the last 4 years. We've been holding steady at about that same 45%. And since they're not getting worse, then my doctor feels confident that we no longer need annual checks for my kidneys and that we can just monitor with regular tests that I have to go in for anyway. So that's really good news. Also related to that is I've been started on a couple of new medications, one specifically for my kidneys that helps reduce uric acid levels. For those who know, that's what causes gout, usually commonly associated with kidney failure or kidney disease, which has been a huge help, and I haven't had any problems with that in over a year, so that's also really good news. I guess sticking to your diet kind of helps in that regard. From kidneys to heart now, my heart is still good enough. As I mentioned, still suffering from heart failure. Specifically, it's left ventricle partial regurgitation factor, which basically means that in car guy terms, I've lost some volumetric efficiency, and it's not pumping as well as it could. What that means in real life is that any minor activity, let's say, that would start to get your blood pumping feels like a marathon run for me. So even just playing with Kumo or trying to walk up a couple flights of stairs, I'll get winded very, very quickly. However, that's still better than some, and I'm still on my own heart, which is important for the next bit. Like with my kidneys, I have been sticking to my diet. I've been actually very good about that. And my heart hasn't decreased, let's say, as aggressively as it might otherwise. So there's always going to be a descent in performance. Like, it's never going to improve. But what you can control is how fast it declines and how how much worse it gets and how fast it gets there. And I've been somewhat good on exercise, though less so with the house, but mostly with diet, again, sticking to that. And my heart health has not declined as fast as similar patients or patients in similar situations. So that's good news on the heart front. From heart health onto disease specific. So for me, my systemic amyloidosis, which is kind of the root cause for all these issues, there is some good news on that front, at least enough that it gives me hope. And that is a new drug trial that has started where they will attempt to remove the amyloids from tissue deposits with this drug by basically tying it to a molecule that will be flushed from the body as a part of how this drug works. It's still early days. I only just found out about this trial, but it's very promising because even if I don't get into the trial, that means there is a drug that could be available on the horizon that could treat my disease without me having to go into multiple organ transplants. And if I can stay on my own organs and their performance can improve, that's actually really, really good for not only me, but anyone who has a systemic amyloidosis. Lastly, onto my eyes. Now, some of you may be aware, but I don't think I've really put much up on the channel about it. I have terrible eyes, just absolute garbage. They've always been that way. Early on, I had severe myopia, and what that looks like is like -6, give or take, correction or worse. And after, well, years of having terrible eyes and years of racing abuse, I eventually got detached retinas in both eyes, and I had to undergo multiple surgeries in both eyes to reattach those retinas and to make sure it didn't happen again. The end result is I can still mostly see 20/20, and I've lost a little bit of color definition in my right eye because of the amount of lasers we had to use to reattach everything. But the end result is that I can see and that I did not go blind. Unfortunately, though, all those surgeries accelerate the growth of cataracts or cataracts forming in your eye. And that's kind of where I'm at today, and the reason I have glasses on now. I have to go without wearing contacts for a couple of weeks, and I need to go into a cataract specialist so that they can have a look. At my last eye exam, we found a couple of worrying things that would necessitate going for cataract surgery sooner than later. In the past, you wouldn't go in for cataracts until it was basically you couldn't see. And the thinking there was that, well, if you go blind as a result of the surgery, you didn't really lose much. Nowadays, they try to get you in basically at earliest convenience when you start seeing the possibility of cataracts or cataracts forming, because the quality of life improvement is much, much greater. Really what that means is night driving. It'll reduce the amount of stars and circles and glare and that sort of thing, which is really bad for me. And the possibility exists to do away with contacts altogether, in that they can shape the new lenses you get for the shape of your eye. So you will no longer need primary vision correction. However, you will need to get readers, or you'll have to do a thing where they focus one eye for distance and one eye up close. But I would rather have distance vision in both eyes that's the same, and then just have to wear readers. But essentially that would mean no more contacts, assuming that there's enough correction available in those lenses that I don't need any more additional correction. So wrapping up, kidneys are okay, my heart is okay, my eyes are hot garbage, and we'll see if they need some additional work. I'm hopeful for this new study or this drug trial that's coming, and hopefully I'll have some updates in the coming months. But other than that, yeah, my health is holding in there, and I'm doing the best I can with what I've got. And honestly, I think that's about all any of us can do. If you've made it this far, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching and following along with this crazy adventure. Next few videos, hopefully we'll get back into the cars, back into what I enjoy doing, and we'll see about getting that MK finished. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.